Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brooks and Beckles. And when I sat down with Mr. Derrick Brooks and we decided to do this podcast, we said we're going to sit down and talk about the world, football, leadership, life, and we're going to bring in some guests as well. We brought in Tony Dungy, Warren Sapp. How can you beat that, okay? We beat it.
Yes,
okay?
we did. Yes, we
and
did.
This young man, I've not get a chance to really talk to in person. We met one time at Ashley's Coal Fire Pizza, and I don't think anybody else knew who he was but me. Mr. Jeffrey Vinik is in the house. Mr. Vinik, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great and thrilled to be here.
Well, the thrill is all mine. I'm a big fan of yours, and I've done this radio. I've done radio for 20-something years and podcasts forever, and people know I do not tell people I'm a fan of theirs unless I'm a fan. Okay, so I've been on the radio for a long time, and I know the feel of this building and where it's come from. I'm from Montreal, Canada, so don't think I'm a big brother doesn't know nothing about hockey.
Okay, good to know.
Let's
Good
get
to
that
know.
straight right
I thought this was about football. I thought we were talking about the Sunday game.
Exactly.
Big game on Sunday.
Well,
Yes,
first
it
of all,
was.
congratulations, Mr. Vinik, on what you've accomplished here. And I have to ask you, in 2010, when you purchased the Lightning and the Storm back then, you had to have a vision. But can you imagine it being here at this point?
No, this is beyond my expectations, and so many things have broke right for us over the last now 13, 14 years. Hard to believe. But just like, the quarterback can't throw the ball downfield unless his offensive line gets the job done. I get accolades and people say like you're a fan of me. It's Todd Lywicki and Steve Griggs and Julian Breezeball and Steve Eiserman and hundreds of other employees in this Lightning organization and Derek. And I'm just the guy on top, and I try to set the tone and try to have good values and make good strategic decisions. But this is a team effort, and I've been so fortunate being part of the Lightning or VSG. And so fortunate to be part of this community. It's a wonderful place to live. So I couldn't have imagined it being as fulfilling, fun, entertaining, exciting. I could go on and on with adjectives.
Well, Mr. Vinik, again, thank you for sitting down with us. And I want to just ask and take our audience here a little bit behind the scene. We're known as Viniks Sports Group now. But it's my understanding that you really was on board with the Viniks Sports Group name. Could you tell the audience why?
Yeah, I just walked in here and I see big VSG on the door, and it's like, it just doesn't feel quite right to me. Steve Griggs twisted and twisted my arm until I agreed to do it. We were TBSC before that, Tampa Bay Sports and Entertainment. I was just fine with that. I guess ultimately I gave in and said, sure, we'll go with VSG, we'll go with Viniks Sports Group. I guess my brand has positive value, so that may help our business as an organization. So I'm all for doing everything I can for our business and for Tampa Bay. So I relented, and it still makes me uncomfortable, Derek.
I know, Ed, I'm going to tell you, as one that was helping Steve twist Mr. Vinik's arm to do it, it was, from my standpoint, it's one of the executive, it was, how do we go to brand in the community that others outside the community will recognize, and not just recognize, but how could we attract? How can we pull in? And at that particular time when we were going through this, I guess a light kind of came on in my head was the biggest asset
100%.
It's Mr. Vinik. But I know his personality. It's going to be hard to do. So my mindset going in was honestly very humble approach, but it was really about the greater good of the Bay Area. And I just really felt Viniks Sports Group will always represent that and could be that catalyst of change.
Well, you said you were lucky. I don't believe in luck. That's my saying. I don't believe in luck. Like luck is created. I have an entrepreneurial mindset. You certainly do yourself. I'm not putting myself in your category by any means. But like you said, it's a teamwork. I have a company, I have an organization. I have people working for me, and the people working for you is what makes it tick. Now, people like Derrick Brooks and Todd Lywicki, and there's all these names I can name that I know all of are wonderful people. What do you look for in your support group? Because that's the most important thing.
Yeah, or my leadership group or the executive group. I've learned, one of the many things I've learned over the last 14 years is I'm pretty good at hiring senior level people. And you said it, in really, really high quality, good people, similar values to mine, my family's, etc. And one thing I always do if I'm interviewing somebody to be CEO or, spending time with them, I always take them to restaurants. And I want to see how they treat the waiter. If their meal isn't how they like, do they bark at the waiter? Or do they treat them with respect? Sure. Everybody deserves respect, and you can learn a lot about somebody by doing that. If I tell too many people, then the secret's out, and then they're going to come here and they're going to.
Absolutely. What did you see in this man, Derrick Brooks? Now, I'm not like others. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm around and I'm with Derrick Brooks, okay, the great Derrick Brooks, Mr. Derrick Brooks. So everybody's look. There's Derrick Brooks and. Like, I don't treat Derrick like that, okay? Because Derrick walked in the locker room as a rookie. Yes, I was already in the locker room. He might have carried my shoulder pads back in the day. That was possible.
That's right.
But Derrick's a special person, okay?
Yes.
And as I've done this podcast, I'm realizing how special he is. What made you grab an old crusty football player to be a guy to lead? I know the football was involved with it, but it was more than that, wasn't it?
I remember the conversation with Todd Lywicki. How many years has you been here, Derrick? 9 or 10 now?
No, more than that, since 2011.
Wow. Is that right? 2011. Yes. How awesome is that? Wow. And I remember he told me, and he said, we could get Derrick Brooks. He may want to join this organization. And you can't have too many high quality, forget the football legend. That's a given. Put it on the side. But the quality of the person and what he represents to this community, you can't have too much on this. We'll hire as many Derrick Brooks as we can. And that's one of my philosophies in business in general. If I find, and it doesn't have to be for a senior level, but it could be for any level, but if I find a truly exceptional person, I'll find a spot for them. And we want them as part of our team. And that's true with whatever business I'm involved with. There's no substitute for quality people.
And likewise, Ian, and I always get goosebumps telling this story when I sat down with Todd at old Mise en Place, and hey, we're going to meet Mr. Vinik the next day, man, and I'm doing all my research, and I'm like, I've invested with him. I'm
and you still like me.
Yes, I still love exactly. And I get in, and I always tell the story that I never saw or met anyone at that time as visionary as Mr. Vinik was, and here's a plan that I see for Tampa. It's a hidden gem. And I never heard anyone speak to Tampa like that. It was, if the football team is winning, they love us. But no one talked about Tampa as an impact nationally until I met Mr. Vinik.
Because you have to come from outside just to have perspective on all the great things about this place. And I think people are just, they love living here, and they got used to it and forgot. Yes. There were editorials in the pit, not anymore, because now we all feel great about this Tampa Bay region. We're booming, and it's awesome. But back then, you had a terrible recession. People were down, and people had forgotten how great it is to live a half hour from the beach. Haven't forgotten how great it is to have all these sports teams here and be in the sunshine so many days, except for this winter, which is absolutely sucks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
La Nina or whatever. It's been unbelievable. But people have forgotten about all that and just didn't appreciate it. So somebody coming from out of town, I remember, and I still do it to this day, when I walk outside and it's sunny out, I always say it is beautiful out. I never forget to think that, because it is spectacular down here.
It really is.
And now the country knows about it, right? We've now marketed this. All the people of this region, the politicians of the region. Tom Brady coming down here was a great help. Let's be thankful for that. And people know where Tampa is. They're moving here. This economy is on a roll, and it's going to keep gaining strength, which is great for everybody that lives here.
Now, listen, you're a great business person, and which I applaud that myself, okay? But there's a lot of great business people that I don't care for. And that's real. I'm being real about that, okay? There's a lot of people I've met, billionaires before, and I didn't care for them, okay? There's a Mount Rushmore of, like, the good folks in Tampa Bay, okay? I'm going to tell you who's on it, all right? It's a Mount Rushmore. It's way up there. Tony Dungy's on it, okay? Leroy Selman is on it, all right? Jeff Vinik is on it, okay? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not just saying that because you're here, once again, because you do sign my checks too a little bit, okay? So you are my boss, but this is not what this is about, okay? This is real. When you say you take people to restaurants and you see how they deal with other people, you know what I do? I talk to people that work for people and see what they say.
Yes.
Because I've talked to people who work for billionaires who are like, yeah, he's cool. And then there's, man, that's the guy. I love working for him. Where did you learn that? Where did you learn the appeal? Because it's about you as a person. Where does that come from?
Parents, I really think. We all have kids. We try to model good behavior with our kids. Sure. My kids would never see me barking at a waiter, and I'm amazed. They say please and thank you all the time, and that's how I was brought up. So I really think that's what it comes back to. There might be some DNA element involved in it, but it's just how fortunate am I in life? I mean, I love sports. I love business. This VSG combines the two. I love the community down here. I mean, after we're done, I'm going to watch a hockey game in a sweet right and center ice. It doesn't get any better than that. Really I'm a thankful guy. I actually make a list every night I try to remember 3 things. It's a good thing to do. 3 things I'm grateful for that day. Even if we don't win, I do it. And but the game won't be on the list. But no, I've just been a very fortunate guy. I've worked hard. I made good decisions. I got good common sense. I try to surround myself with good people. But in the end, there's an awful lot of luck involved in life, isn't there?
Yes, it is.
Well, you don't think so? I think there is.
I think it is. Well, let me put this question this way, since you don't believe in luck.
I don't.
How are you becoming bored? I remember when you told us about, hey, these changes are happening in terms of SPP, and your obligation to yourself was to become boring.
Yes. Not boring. I'm already boring. I don't have to become boring. A lot of people call me
the process to be bored.
Yes.
How is that coming along for you?
I'm making progress on it, Derek, believe it or not. I have slowed down. I'm 64 years old. I want to relax. I'm an introvert. I'm a quiet guy. I love, just lying on the couch and watching a good game on TV. I'm going to watch a lot of football this weekend and a lot of hockey. Yeah. It's going to be recording and stuff. I just want to lie on the couch and enjoy sports. That's part of it. And the other thing I've done is now I'm not involved in the real estate, and I'm all behind Cascade in the next phase. I'm so proud of it. But I'm having more time just to invest my own money, which is just it's really that's really calming for me, and I just enjoy that. I spend 4 hours, 5 hours a day
reading, right?
Reading, yeah, that's what I do. I read a lot, and that's back to what I've done for the last 40 years, what my career is, and I just love it. I just love it. I'm focusing on what I love: family, market, investing in the market, the community, and VSG and hockey. That's where I'm really focusing on. That's how I want to enjoy my years.
I'm proud of you making progress.
Well, thank you.
In the area of boredom.
I understand, too. Being bored and just having a choice just to do what you feel like doing in the morning, that's freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. Freedom's a great word. And the opposite of boredom is overworked, really, and overstressed. And as I've gotten older, I don't know if it's an older thing or something from COVID. We all had COVID once or twice or 3 times if it affected me. But I found that when I had a big to-do list during the day, I didn't enjoy my days. I just felt like I was on a treadmill all day getting stuff done. And I said, well, I'm going to cut this to-do list down in half so I know I can get it done manageably. I can enjoy the process of my days rather than having to just rush through them and get them over with.
Well, I once again, I think I have that entrepreneurial mindset, and I could see things and I could create things in my mind. You're clearly that person, okay? When you came to Tampa and looked at Tampa, first of all, why Tampa? I know why, because I've been here since 1990 and I've seen the progress. But what did you see in Tampa and the potential? And then where was the model? You had to have seen a city and said, well, that could easily be Tampa, because Tampa was just this ball of clay that was ready to be molded, and you definitely helped to get it done.
Yeah, cities are like live organisms. They, they rise and they fall, and it's based on management often. It, just like a company rises and falls based on management, senior management, which are politicians, community leaders, etc., they can have a big effect on how a city rises and falls. I knew that, I guess, because I've studied the history of cities, especially as I got involved with the real estate down here. Seeing fast growing like Nashville, which has just embraced that brand of music, and look what they've done.
Unbelievable.
And it's happening. Austin, Texas has done it with tech, and Raleigh, North Carolina, and Charlotte, and they were all a little ahead of us. And I saw them as models, but I said, we're a better place to live than all those places. That's what really I believed. I mean, the weather, and we have this what I think our brand here should be the friendliness of our people and how welcome our people are. I think that's what's unique to the Tampa Bay area. That now I haven't lived everywhere, but I've lived a lot of places, and maybe it's not fair to compare it to the people in the Northeast, because nobody would say those are the friendliest cities. New York and Boston, hardly anybody would call those the friendliest cities. They certainly have brands, though. But we are, and I noticed that right away when I came down, even before I closed on the purchase of the team, how kind and how nice the people were here and welcoming, and that's caught on, and it's really special. It's really special.
And I think a lot of people have been able to see that more so in the sports championships. Man, I wish I could just nail the Tampa Bay. I was so, I guess, geeked about that saying.
This is us. This is us. This is what we want to be.
That.
No, but everywhere I went, it wasn't. They see sometimes it was Tampa Bay. And man, I embraced it too. I embraced it as much as I possibly could, and still do today, because it spurred some interest at some level that someone had in Tampa. Whether it was sports, whether it was business, whether it was community, whether it was people, whether it was food, whether it was a Gasparilla, did not matter. USF did not matter to me. The point is, we have your attention.
Sure.
Yes.
Now that we have your attention, we can do something with it.
So for all those people who say sports shouldn't get some kind of public subsidies to help with arenas, stadiums, et cetera, it's ought to be fair. The owner's got to chip in a good amount, no doubt about it. But there are a lot of analyses that say, sports don't help a region economically. Example one is Tampa Bay, Florida. You tell me that sports in general has not helped this region. It has helped us get on the map with a lot of people.
Over the
last 5 to 10 years, no doubt.
More than get on the map.
Both of your times way back when, back then.
More than get on the map.
In the 90s, there's no way I'd have ever thought anybody would call us Tampa Bay. There's no way. I mean, just in the 90s, think about it. We weren't worth a darn.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty close. But I think that's what makes it so much more appealing to the masses. Is the Bucks came from nowhere, but the Lightning, they were born in the 90s, okay? Once again, I was a Montreal Canadiens fan growing up, okay? And when the Lightning came, I think for 2 years I was still a Canadiens fan, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't give a crap about them. This is my team. And from that point on, I adopted the Lightning. Canadians had 26 Stanley Cups. They still have 26. And all my boys at home got to hear about us being in the Stanley Cup all the time, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
No, but I was in the stadium. I was in the fairgrounds. I was all at the beginning with my ex-wife, ex-wife, and I was looking around. I go, I'm not sure this is going to work. Okay, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, there was different ownership. Nobody knew anything about hockey. You took this thing from that to what this is. Now, sold out every night.
We took it.
We did. Okay, y'all took it. Okay, but it literally started from nothing, and now people are talking about it being the best franchise in all of sports. Now, sports is important, but I think the feel and the business part's important as well. What is the key to success? I have a little shop, okay? Whatever you tell me, I'm going to implement in my little Indignitary Cafe, my little shop.
Yep.
What's the key to success?
It's it's blocking and tackling. It is, again, hiring great people, hiring really good people with really good values, treating people well, treating the customer well. Yeah. I serve the customer as much as anybody in this organization does. And it's relentless focus on doing all the little things as well as you can. It's interesting. Bought the team in 2010 and right away put private money into this building, gave out jerseys to all season ticket members, put chips in for 25% off food and beverage, 35% off merchandise, did the community hero program, all that stuff. Nobody noticed. And it takes patience. And we kept doing it day after day and just said, faith. I use that word a lot. I had faith about this region, and I'm not a religious guy. I have faith about this region. There's all great raw materials here. There's great people here, resources here. It's going to be a terrific place. We had faith about the Lightning, even though nobody was noticing. Let's keep doing the right things. It's going to click someday. And we had a great draft year in 2013, so the hockey team came along, and then immediately, because we had done a good job on the business side, people started noticing, and it took off here. It took time, but
it was a grind. It was a grind.
It was a grind in the beginning, and we had.
It was 2010. As I came in 2011, as Mr. V was saying, we were beating the streets and showing people the assets of what a season ticket member is. Take pride in it. These are the things that no other team is doing for their clients. And we are. But it was the constant education piece. And when I tell you we were beating the street, hey, you want an autograph? Let me give you an autograph. Let me tell you this. That jersey you're wearing, how about let's go in the retail shop? For what? Sure. You get a discount. I do? Yeah. Yes, you do. Absolutely, And it was this, 41 nights of that to really get people to and understand and believe in what we were doing.
Yeah, you're right. 300 non-game nights. One of it can be the little thing. 2012 for half the season, there was a lot. We locked out the players, so we missed half a season, which was unfortunate, but unfortunately part of the deal sometime. We kept the community hero going during that. I didn't know if anybody would care or anybody would notice. So many people came up to me. That may have been the most important thing we've done in 14 years here, keeping that going. Every game day, we'd go to the place of the charity that was having that was getting with the hero and do it right there. And it had an incredible impact. And that's just, one of many things, and having really good people to implement that too, of course. Let's never stop saying that.
Where along the way did you realize that giving back always comes back? Because it's not only the hero, community hero. I had an office at the Prep of South Tampa. And you guys did floor hockey. And I was like, what's happening here? And there's kids piling in doing floor hockey. The Lightning are paying for that. And I was like, really? So those are little things maybe people don't know about. When I look at some other franchises around here, they don't have to look too far, okay? I'm not trying to point any fingers. They don't have to look too far, all right? It just doesn't seem like they're giving back. How important do you really believe that is to make the community feel like you love them?
So branding and all. I think I've heard that before about other organizations here. I'm amazed at what they do sometimes. Yeah, so I the Rays do something like every single day during the season, and the Bucks do an awful lot too. Yes, they do. So I think we've done a really good job as branding ourselves and the leaders and giving back and part of the community. And I think sometimes those other teams get a bad rap because I think they do a great job too. That's just my personal opinion.
They do it, and I'm in the heart of it, and I get a chance to see it, and I come to the defense of everyone and what they're doing, and I feel we're all earning the community trust, and that's the word I use. Hey, we're all fighting to earn your trust. And the fact that we have 3 sports, we're going to be 4 when the ladies soccer come on. We're going to have all these sports that are fighting to serve. That's what we're doing. We're fighting to serve. We're fighting to earn your trust. So please don't compare us. I say connect us.
Yeah. We're all in this. We're all in this together.
Please, if you go to our game, connect us. You go to a Bucks game. Connect the fact that we're all trying to earn your trust.
And there's a big difference between now and 10, 20, 30 years ago. 20 or 30 years ago, the economy here was half the size of it is now. it was hard for the economy here to support 3 professional sports teams.
Yeah.
Again, putting, major sports teams. Now the economy has grown so much. We don't have to compete with each other for the consumer dollar. We can all be very successful here. The Buck Stadium is jammed game after game with the product they're putting on the field. The Rays are going to be too when they get this new stadium, and it's a much better experience. And we're so proud of our sellout streak. We can all thrive here and do well together. There's no doubt.
You clearly love sports.
I
you
do.
clearly love hockey, and you're also an analytical person. How much did the analytical side of you help you choose Tampa Bay area? Because I could see at the point it was a burgeoning city.
Yeah, exactly. If you think about it, it was 2000. We closed in 2010, but the process was 2009. Terrible recession. There were 10 to 15 hockey teams that potentially could have been available. So I was looking at all of these, and Dallas was a really intriguing possibility because big city, big economy. And frankly, the price of the team was really depressed at the time, and it was a much bigger economy than Tampa Bay. But I just didn't fit in Dallas. Seeing me alongside Jerry Jones and Mark Cuban, I get swallowed up by those guys, right? Nobody would ever know about me or hear about me or the Dallas Stars. But I did compare it to a lot of different teams. You know what a big factor was?
Yes.
And a lot of it was an analysis. I want to live someplace warm.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I've been up in the Northeast for 50 years. I want to go someplace warm, and it is nice down here. And then when I did all the research and the success that we had in hockey and led the league in attendance in the mid-2000s and the people here and the things to do, and then I used the word back then, under-potentialed. I saw so much potential. I saw all the real estate around the arena. I had no idea that I would be part of a group, with Cascade buying it. I had no idea that we would develop it. I didn't know a thing about commercial real estate, but I knew it had potential, and someday that was going to catch fire, and the whole downtown would catch fire. It was just inevitable, and that was it's exciting. There's nothing more fun in sports than a team that's like coming out of here and is on the way up, like on the upswing and starting to achieve and has great aspirations. And that's where this city was. We're now well into the climb, but that's where we were back then. We were on the bottom, ready to emerge, and we were underdogs. And we're probably still underdogs. That's great motivation, just like the Bucks this week. Coming up against the Lions, they're using that as motivation, right?
Absolutely. So
and our hockey team a little bit this year. Some people have counted us out.
Yeah,
don't count the Tampa Bay Lightning out this year.
That window have closed.
No way.
That's what they're saying.
As Stamkos said, who says our window has closed?
Exactly. Mr. V, your family.
Yes.
Please, I know new grandbaby.
I do.
Obviously adding on another generation. So please just take a moment to tell the viewers here how you are enjoying your family now with the quality time that you have now to spend with them.
Yeah, I always enjoy my family. To be perfectly honest, it's always the most fun things I do are the times that I have with my family, especially now that my kids are all grown. We just have a great time together and do all kinds of things together. During COVID, everybody, when we won the first cup, we weren't at the games because you couldn't go to the bubble. We were all on Cape Cod together for about a month watching the games, and then everybody came here to Florida for a few weeks and watched the games, and then we won and partied at our house here. My youngest son set up 100 bottles of champagne and blasted "We Are the Champions," and we were outside drinking that champagne and with goggles on and going swimming. That's a great moment, and so it's all about family, and so fortunate. Penny, my wife, great wife, and great person, and my kids are really good people, and I enjoy them all so much.
Oh, I enjoy it too, Ian. I was fortunate enough for our second cup here at home to be with Mr. Vinik and his family in the suite and to sit back and watch. Hey, I was a Vinik that night. Hey, we were partying in the suite. To see that final, those seconds go down, and we hugging. I almost flipped out of the suite in the state. Oh man, we were. Yeah, no, I didn't even care. But to spend that moment when you say fun time and celebrating, that was a moment, man. And again, I still don't even know happenstance how I ended up.
Yeah, it worked. Next time you're coming in too.
Well, I like the way you guys party. Okay.
Yeah.
And, listen, I'm blessed to interview a lot of different people, some of whom have a legacy going almost before they're gone. And this young man has a legacy already. There's a bunch of other people. What do you want your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be?
I don't like the word legacy. It's just not. It's never resonated with me. I want people to think I was a good guy. I mean, pretty simple. It's not about building buildings and winning championships in sports. That's all great stuff. And believe me, I'm happy and proud we've accomplished them. But it's about being a human being and helping people and treating people well. And if people remember me as a good guy, I don't need to be on Mount Rushmore, the Mount Rushmore of Tampa Bay or whatever. But, he was a good guy. He had a positive influence. I don't want to call it legacy, but if that's how I'm remembered, and don't write me off yet, even though I want to be bored. I got plenty of more years ahead of me, a lot more to accomplish here.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's probably as much as anything.
So you wake up in the morning, and I've always said there was a time where after football, I didn't have anything to do, and I woke up in the morning and my juices weren't flowing. And I felt like I was dying. I mean, literally.
I know you talked to me about that.
I just didn't know what to do with myself. I have to keep going. What keeps your juices flowing in the morning?
Oh man, I love my days. I get up ready, hungry, ready to the game. I mean, I love competing with that stock market every day. When we have a game at night, it's a great day no matter what. I just love the anticipation of a hockey game at night. And, if I have something going on with friends and family, that keeps me going and all. It's just kind of automatic. It's, as I said, I'm a very fortunate guy. And I get to do a lot of great things and fun things, and I'm trying to tilt everything toward fun at this stage in my life, and I'm lucky that it is. Coming on here and talking with you guys. I've been looking forward to this. This is fun.
Yes, well, thank you, Mr. V. And final question for me as we come to a close, as we are getting ready to drop the puck. One investment advice that I heard you say that I would like for you to explain in layman's term. I think it was – be bullish long term and don't buy in bubbles or something like that.
Yeah. That's
Explain
right.
that in layman's terms.
Yeah. Things work out in the end. Stocks go up over time. Things can seem really, a lot of bad stuff goes on in the world, unfortunately, and the economy has ups and downs or cyclicality. But look at the history of the world. It's been up and to the right. I mean, there's tragedies and there's some awful things that go on. I'm not saying they're not, but the stock market has gone up for hundreds of years and economies have gotten better, and people get pessimistic and think the world's in a terrible place. World poverty is by far the lowest in history. Standard of living are by far the highest in history. Now, as long as there's one person starving in this earth, we have more work to do.
Yes.
But it is so much better than it was 50 years ago. For those people who say, I remember when I was young or my grandparents, things were so much better than back then, they're wrong. Things are much better. And again, there's war. There's Middle East and Ukraine, and there's all kinds of bad stuff. Things are a lot better, and 50 years from now, things are going to get better from now. And we do have global warming. You know what? We're not doing enough on it, but we're going to figure it out.
A lot of money is going to be invested in it.
And the world is really smart and really industrious, and we'll get to it. Too late, because politicians are too late, but we will get to it, and we will figure it out. And the world will do just fine. So that's why I say be bullish long term.
Be bullish long term. Stay away from bubbles.
Don't get caught in the jiggles. Bubbles are when everybody gets caught up, and that would be, and it happens every 10 years in the financial markets. And it happened 3 years ago. Certain sectors of tech and venture capital, things like that, was a bubble. And to me, they're pretty obvious, where valuations on companies get 10 times what they should be. And then they go to 20 times, so you get sucked in. Don't buy into bubbles. And it's painful because you go to cocktail parties and everybody else is telling you how smart they are. Right? Yes. I just got in this fund and it's doubled overnight, and I just got in this company, and it's like they're going to lose 90% of their money. Just avoid bubbles and just own the market for the long term. Own index funds. Own the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, the World Index. These are just index funds. Buy them, put them away, don't sell them. Start when you're young. Keep accumulating over your life, and you're going to have a good amount of money in retirement. Over that period of time, things are going to work out well.
You should do a podcast on just finances.
Do you think I'm passionate about investments?
Yes, you are.
That's home base to me. That's what I know.
That's a beautiful
lot more
thing.
than the power play.
Well, Mr. Vinik, let me say this: when I heard I was going to be interviewing you, it was a beautiful thing I never had before. Thank you for this opportunity. And a lot of times, being in sports radio as much as I have, and being around all these sports, you guys are the exception. Okay, people always say, "Well, why do the Lightning?" And I always say it's the ownership. And that's real. Why do the Lightning? It's the ownership. The ownership's a little bit different. So congratulations what you've created here. You've been nothing but beautiful for this community. I've been here since 1990, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So thank you first and foremost for what you've done. And this has been a pleasure. And hopefully we get a chance to do it again.
I would love to anytime.
And stick around. This guy, he's a keeper too. This book's
yeah. We made it through. Nothing bad happened. We're all good
Vinik,
here.
thank you very much, Derrick. It's been beautiful as usual.
As always, my friend. Thank you.
If anybody wants to hit Derrick up on social media,
it's at the official DBrooks55, and I'm tagging everything at Lightning Audio and Lightning Radio.
There you go, and I'm Ian _Beckles. Everybody have a wonderful week, and please
well,
be
Mr.
safe.
Vinik, what's your social media handle?
Everybody have
Social
a beautiful
media.
week. Yeah,
I have never tweeted or whatever, X now, whatever you want to call it.
AI? You're not messing with it yet?
We could have a philosophical. What is AI really? It's just a little next generation. It's important. It's big, etc. But by good companies for the long term, and it's hard to figure out winners. I mean, Microsoft's a winner. There's a big company.
AI's making you cringe. I can see that. It's making you cringe.
It's got bubble potential at some point. You just got to be careful, because what happens when you have these I don't like investing in sexy areas, because that's where all the money goes, and companies don't make money when there's too much competition. I like global warming and environmental stuff. A ton of money's going to that. I like buying the companies that make the widgets, that go into the widgets, that go into the products that are going to solve the world's problems. So just like a little industrial company in the middle of Iowa or something, that's where I like to invest. Just really like miscellaneous, rather than trying to pick some high-tech, sexy, high flyer where it's like, I don't know if they're going to be around in the long term.
You guys thought this was a sports podcast? We're making you money. We're making you money. Thank you, Mr. Vinik.
Very welcome. Awesome, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Peace out.